All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Game Engineer coming to you for what should be a relatively quick one. We have a set late, but still a goodie. I was taking a little drive through the hinterlands and came across a little shop that still had one of these bad boys on the shelf. So I decided to pick it up. And since I didn't stream any Final Fantasy in the past few months, thought it might be a nice little thing to try out. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and give her a shot? So as you can see, Final Fantasy gift booster bundle, and it's got some, I forget what they call these, not Aeons, but I call them Espers from back in the FF3 days. But I think they're from like one of the Final Fantasy. It's like 15 or 16, one with Clive in it. Um, and what do we have here? So you can actually see that Clive and Dion are the ones on the that you get extended art foils of. And then of course you do get a collector booster, which are going for mucho dinero these days, and a bunch of normal packs, along with all of the traditional and foil variants of the basic lands, and you even get a special little spin down counter. So there you go. And the box is shiny. What do you think about that? Um, it's actually strange. It's got all these like, it looks like dust, but it's actually part of the design, I think. I don't know if it's supposed to, I guess it's supposed to be stars. Um, yeah. So why don't we tear this bad boy open? All right, nothing in the box. What's in the box? Nothing. But there is a poster. Kind of a cool poster. Looks like Neo Bahamut or something. Or maybe it's just Bahamut and Ifrit. That one definitely reminds me of Neo Bahamut from what, Final Fantasy VIII, I think. Um, all right, box. So we have same art, very shiny card box. Surprised they didn't do anything fancier with the symbol there, because there were a bunch of symbols available to use. The crystal one, but for some reason they didn't go for that. And of course, the big money card right there with Terra on it. I'm glad that they chose the best Final Fantasy to have on the cover of the collector boosters. Of course, the one you want to pull from this is the gold chocobo. Am I going to pull one? Absolutely not. Astronomically small chance of pulling it, as there are only 77 of them. That is the spin down. This one actually oddly feels like much more precise than normal. Like, there's a bit of an angle to that, actually. Maybe I got a really good one. There's some sort of residue on here, though. It's like some of the stuff that was on some of the cards I was opening a couple days ago. It's like a wax almost. I don't know if it's like toner from the printing process. But let's see. Let's see what we got here. This may actually come with a couple couple slots of cards that are different because I thought it showed Clive and Dion on here, but I'm seeing Emperor Palamecia. I think this might be similar to the regular bundles where there's two slots that are random extended art that you can only get here, I guess. And you can pull actually some pretty nice cards in those two slots. So why don't we open this one up and see what they are? The Empress Palamecia is nothing to write home about, I don't think. Although these cards tend to go for quite a bit just because these card numbers are only available here. They're foil and they're extended art, or borderless, or whatever they call that these days. So 484 and 160. Give me a quick minute and I'll look those up. So strangely, why am I not seeing the two foil cards that they mention on the actual box? Unless they're in here. Let's fire it up. Lands. I am decidedly it's not in here. Did I read that wrong? I could swear that it said your two traditional art. Oh, those were just examples. Never mind. You could get a Clive or a Dion, but it's just two random ones. I see. I see. Okay. Well, now that that crisis is averted, we can move on to cracking some packs. And actually, I'm gonna look these up real quick too. So we have 160 and 484. So a lot of pretty mundane cards I've seen like that actually go for quite a bit. Let me see what Scryfall says. All right. And one of those is Finn, one of those is Fick. 484. Four is so 484 is $1. So I guess that one's not going for anything. And then 160 from Fick is going for Easter Seymour. It's green. Only $1. I guess I kind of got the duds. In a couple of the bundles I bought, I had I think I got a $50 or $60 card in one of the slots, and I think I got like a $10 or $20 card in the other. So I guess I was just spoiled. Showing you what's on here. So we got, I assume, Ifrit. These counters. We got the crystal planeswalker thing. Sorry, that's way too close. Crystal planeswalker symbol. And that Neo Bahamut guy. So yeah, that's that. And you can actually pull some pretty decent cards from this pack as well. I think the only one I'm really outstanding on is, well, of course, a gold chocobo. I mean, would love to get one of those. Or I have not pulled the ancient copper dragon one, the Mount Gulg. Pulled a bunch of the other ones. I mean, I'm very fond of Final Fantasy, but not like a total fanatic or anything. 3 and 7, probably some of the best. There's Locke, Treasure Hunter, Extraordinaire, from Father to Son. I think the only real card that you can find in the common kind of cards is maybe Sid. Some of the Sids can be worth a penny or two. Zodiark, the Umbral God. Of course, the search foils are the big money cards in this set. Here's a Vayne Caduceus Solidor. Whale. What was that a reprint of? Finn the Fanger. Crystal's Chosen. One of Realm's sketches. Alright. Haven't really seen anything of note yet. Bound to get something. I mean, the Amano cards are pretty common, so I would think I would get at least one. Well, here's a decent one. Kefka, Court Mage. I think that it was going for like 40-50 bucks, I thought, but I don't know if that's changed. Choco, Secret of Paradise. Probably not moving the needle with any of these. Kefka. I gotta beat Kefka. I can't let the bad guy win. Can't let the bad guy win. Malboro. Wall of Omens. Jill. We're running out of packs here. We are running out of packs. Sephiroth One Winged Angel emblem. I mean, it's reasonably cool. This Farseek, Arsenal, I think we're on our way to Skunkville. Hideaway. There we go. Sid. Sid's a decent dude. Summoner of the Mist. Zach. Couple dollars. Yeah. Traveling Chocobo. And, I mean, not awful, but not like great either. So, we gotta hope this is where it's at. But if I do pull a Chocobo, I'm gonna be pretty happy. Alright, let me quickly make sure which order they're coming in. Alright, come from the back. Boom. Obviously, these first 6 are just gonna be garbage cards. Until we get to the land. And then it should turn around. Stolen uniform. I do remember that part in Final Fantasy III when you dress up like the little soldiers and walk around. Alright. Ambrosia alt art. Alright, now we get into the spice. Let it flow. Edgar, very inventive guy. Who knows, maybe even a reason why the game engineer became a game engineer. Zodiark. Ooh, General Leo. Not sure I've ever pulled that one before, but superhero, so he goes on top. Yeah. What do you think about that, Kefka? Ooh, Celis. Pulling some heat now. Not a surge. Actually, not even a foil, strangely enough. And we got Dawn Warrior's Legacy. I don't know if I actually know that one. May not have pulled this one yet. It's a nice card though, nice art, cool sword. Which one is this from? Does it say on here? FF5. Okay, yeah, I never played 5, but hero nonetheless. And Lightning Army of 1 in a nice little foil configuration. So that one is that one's winner chicken dinner. Not only is it a mythic, but worth a few pennies at the very least. So the heroes win out at the end, so that's all that really matters, right? And of course, I got a hero and a Chocobo. Look at that happy little Chocobo. Joyful, even. Okay, well, that is the end of my Final Fantasy streaming. I don't think I have any other Final Fantasy packs in this house. Well, that's not true. I do have one copy of a Final Fantasy pack for the packing, which will happen. Actually, I need to make that happen soon because they're starting to take up a lot of space. And actually, I did pick up some EOE, which I could open up if you are at all interested. Which, if you're watching this, I assume you are. So why don't we do that? Where did I find it? There we go. Bam. Pleasantly surprised by this EOE set. Edge of Eternities has been uh, more than I was hoping for. I think that Stellar Insights or Stellar Sights little subset, gorgeous. Um, really like the art. And even though it's not fantasy, it still feels magic-y, which is nice. With Final Fantasy was not quite the same, but it had its own fandom to hold it up. Um, with with this, it feels like a magic set again, and but different, a sci-fi magic set. So we've got a 0 point ballad. All right, what do we got? Pinnacle Storage, Cosmogrand Zenith. Nothing super crazy yet. I should get 3 or 4 of those Stellar Insights. Need to read the lore a little bit. So apparently they use MOX for like fuel of spaceships or something like that. Which seems cool. Seems like a neat little tie-in. There we go. Also, there was an Among Us, or as my mini game engineers would say, Mungus. So Among Us reference. I think there's quite a few references to pop culture stuff. So we got Power Depot. Sorry. Power Depot. Looks very nice. Got a Terra Symbiosis. We got a full art. And that's all she wrote. I think right now the pulls that people are looking for, probably Ancient Tomb. And actually I could show you one I pulled just a skosh ago if I remember where I put it. Where did I put it? I just had them. Oh, I'll show you in a second. I was pretty pleased with it. It was actually a wife pull, and she got a good one. Adagia, the windswept bastion, planet station, relic. I'll show you what my wife pulled. Look at that. Pulls it and was like, oh, look at this cool card. And I was like, yeah, look at that. Should have her open all my cards. I think it looks cool in that old sci-fi book cover art as well. So, more wife pulls, I guess. All right. Infinite Guideline Station. Fighter Pilot. So no serialized cards in this set. Oh, we got a little shock action. Sorry, I've been remiss in my duties here. A little shock action. Shocks are, from what I can tell, fairly common. I've opened a couple boxes, and I want to say I'm getting roughly 5, 6 per box. So not like crazy rare. Especially if you can get it at MSRP. which may or may not be possible today. Okay, so we got nesting ground there, and a Requiem monolith. We got a nice little full art card. Full arts are pretty nice. Ooh, Dominion bracelet, something that will almost assuredly be banned. Because yeah, this one seems like not a lot of fun if you're on the receiving end. But at the same time, you also have to shell out a pretty major amount of mana, potentially up to 15. And let's be serious, if your opponent is able to wield 15 mana without you doing anything about it, then they're probably going to win. Alright, Extinguisher Battleship. And what do we have here? Hemosymbic Might. I think that one is gonna win the day. Alright. Let's get down to the good stuff. Lightstall Inquisitor. Less good. Oh, here we go. Thrumming Hivepool, one of the sliver associated ones. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. That's not too shabby. Because that's exactly what slivers need more of. More damage, more speed. There we go, some more shocks. I swear I have pulled so many of these watery graves, probably like 10 of these watery graves. So it is the universe calling out to me. Corral of the Void. All right, so we got Diadrene Synthesis Amalgam. Vocalist. Hardlight Containment. Got some good technology there. Stelly Reclaimer. How great would Hardlight be? So useful. Weapons manufacturing, weft walking. Let's throw it up for weft walking. Why not? Loading zone. Servandum. Sunstar Exemplar. Shiny Swamp. Corral of the Void. Revolt. Forest. Alright, it's been an uncommonly quiet box. We're talking like black pepper spicy at the moment. But maybe the last thing will turn it around. Frenzied Bailiff. Get a little more space here. Sunstar Exemplar, different art. Oh, I see some spice. What is it? Deafening Silence. That's at least the cool factor card to beat. Actually, I have no idea of its actual value, but we did get a breeding pool. So I feel like maybe we gotta, I don't know, we'll just throw that one out there. I don't actually, what was that? That was actually a mythic though. So, and then this is a rare at breeding pool. And this is also a rare, Dicausal. And is this rare? That's just a plain old uncommon. All right, so it's starting to pick up here. Starting to pick up a little bit. A little Doge action. And we got a terrain generator or Terran generator. Well, either way. And what is this? Quantum Riddler. Flying 4/6. When it enters, draw a card. Okay, I like this so far. As long as you have one or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw one or more cards, that you draw that many cards plus one, and it has a warp. Okay. All right. Definitely picking up in the last stack here. Let's hit Saboteur. The Serima. A ship. Stack is getting precariously tall. What was that? Oh, sliver token on the back there. The Osteoharmonist. I feel like they missed out on an opportunity to have a turbo encabulator in here. Maybe a hyper quantum turbo encabulator. Pain for all. Swampy Swamp. Gotta say that swamp is it's a handsome art. Eye-catching. So good composition to Adam Pocket. You do good art. Right. A couple more packs here. Okay. Inventor's Fair. We got Emissary Escort. And Lightstall Inquisitor. 3 rare. Triple rare pack. Alright, can you beat that? Can you do 4 rares? It has happened. I once had a 4 mythic regular play booster. And I was pleasantly surprised by that. There we go. Look at that. Ending on a high note. Getting a little shock action. Along with Halia, the protagonist of this set from what I can tell. And you know what? We're gonna end with a little more spice, because I'm not gonna leave you hanging with just regular boosters like some sort of gutter snipe. No, I'm gonna send you off right, because that's how the game engineer rolls. All right. Our shiny trash. And in here, we now have, it's hard to tell on these, actually insanely hard to tell on these full arts, but that is a galaxy foil. You gotta get it just the right angle to see it though. There you go. I noticed, I think they changed the galaxy foil this time. I think there's like a little galaxy swirl right down there in the corner. Mutinous Massacre. Solar Array, Memory Vault. Beautiful looking crystal quarry. This is a very pretty card. I like it. The one thing I would point out in these is that the really small text down here, though, is almost like not legible. Although this one, I'm going to be honest, is... Oh, is that a period? I thought that was dust. The boxes on this set are sometimes a little bit empty. You know, there's a lot of black space on there, which you'd notice less when there's like a background or something, I found. But that's just me. That's just me nitpicking. All right. Let's see what the card gods will give us. So we got a forest. Is that one a galaxy? That one's not a galaxy. That's just a regular. We got a monolith. We got a world seed, the hearth hull. Yeah, that one. We'll throw up the mythic. Might Form Harmonizer coming in rare. Hissing Quagmire is also a rare. Watery Grave in a Stellar Insights or Stellar Sights and Cosmic Foil. That one, I'm guessing that one's worth a couple bucks. Not gonna lie. Not to mention it's Deemer, so. And strangely, that looks like Omnath. Not sure how that plays in here. It's pretty cool looking token art there. Actually reminds me of, that actually looks vaguely reminiscent of Lost Caverns. That'd be kind of fun if they had a tie-in amongst all the recent sets in the past year. All right. I got 2 more spicy packs for you people, and then I'm gonna let you go to bed. All right, here we start with some Spicy Forest. All right, we got a Vocalist, got a Glittering Massif. Consult the star charts. We got a shiny Crystal Quarry. Not bad, not bad. Throw up signs. Sorry, I'm remiss in my duties. We got a Sledge class ship, and we got a signed card. Which one is it? Cascading Cataracts. It's actually a very pretty composition. Okay, I got 1 pack left. Can I pull the foil? Ancient Tomb? I guess we'll find out. The answer's no, but you know, one can always hope. All right, regular foil land. Do have a breeding pool, so may the shock be with you. Bailiff Prime is also a rare. 10/10. I mean, that's big swinging. We got Evendo, Waking Haven in nice treatment. That's a mythic even. Throwing up mythics now. We got a Grove of the Burn Willows, also a mythic. And a Famished World Sire. So we got a bunch of mythics in that pack. And then this creepy looking guy. Super creepy looking beast. And a clue. Well, there you go, folks. So, ended with some spice. Got at least a few things that were nice. I appreciate y'all for swinging by and watching me crack some packs. As always, I am the Game Engineer, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So